Hello, my Kinder and First leaders. Welcome. This is September, week number 1, as we are diving into a new series in a new month, and we are focusing a lot on choosing your friends carefully today. And so our big monthly theme is going to be all about friendship and picking the right friends, looking for the right friends, looking for people that encourage and uplift us and love us through everything. And so our memory verse that goes along with that is a friend loves at all times, and they are there to help when trouble comes, which is Proverbs 17:17. And so this month, I want to focus a lot on what you guys do for a few. And so whenever you're showing up, basically you're showing up because you're here for your few. You're here for the few kids that you guys get to pour into and love on each and every week on these weekends. And so please continue to do that because that makes such a big impact in their life later on. The consistency is so huge with these children that they love to see you guys coming back each and every week. And that helps them also be comfortable with knowing who you are as their small group leader and being able to jump right back into where they were the week before. And so please continue to do what you do by showing up and loving on these children. It makes a big difference and it means a lot to them. So please continue to do that. This first activity that we're going to do is basically like reading a book. So you have you're gonna have a book that goes along with your activity here, and what you want to do is kind of like look at the cover of the book, and there's a couple of questions that go along with asking them about the character of the book just based on that front picture, and then you can read the book and then kind of re-go through those questions and be like, okay, what makes a good friend? How was there a good friend in this story, or something like that? And so as you do that, the books are about friendship, and so talk about friendship and what makes a good friend based on those books as well. Okay. Now, this next activity, you're going to have them do 2 different activities rather than going from like one side of the room to the other like it was originally written. And so what you're doing is you're asking them different questions, and all of these, they have a choice to them. And so they're supposed to choose which one that they would do. And so for instance, like, would you rather like eat candy or donuts? And like, if they choose donuts, they're supposed to go over to one side of the room and hop on one leg. If they would rather eat candy, then they can go on the other side of the room and do some jumping jacks or something like that. Just having to do 2 different physical activities that basically separate the 2 groups. But the big key that we're going through here is, now these were maybe some easier choices and some more light and fun-hearted choices, right? But choosing our friends are kind of a bigger choice that we have to really focus on. And so choosing our friends carefully is what we're looking at today in today's bottom line, which is where that ties back in. Now, this next one, you will need to go through, it's just a prayer activity. And so go through prayer requests with them, talk about their own friends with them as well. And, like what they do to be a good friend, or what their friends have done before that made them feel really special, and kind of just go through those things as you put those things into prayer requests as well. Now, this next one, it's all about kind of building things up together. And so what you do is you have a stuffed animal, and then you have some of these little tubes, and then you have some paper plates. And what you're going to do is split them up into groups of maybe 3 or so, and they're going to work together to support the stuffed animal with the tubes and the paper plates. Now, the key is you're going to start out with maybe like 2 tubes or 3 tubes, and then you're going to start giving them more tubes. So the first time they're probably going to fail and they're not going to do it right, and that's okay. But what they're doing is basically stacking it all up to where their stuffed animal can go on top and be supported by the different tubes. And all of this goes back to how friends can support us, or we can support our friends and help build them up with whatever they're going through, whatever is going on in their lives. And so that's kind of the big idea there. And again, you can keep giving them more and more tubes and support systems so that they're able to kind of really stay up with that stuffed animal there. And then you'll also need that stuffed animal for the next activity. And basically what you're doing here is you have some activity pages that go along with working together to make it happen. And so for instance, this one, what they're trying to do is you have a big group that as soon as you hold this piece of paper up, they're supposed to find the number of people and get in a group that's that size and then make the shape. And the first group that does that wins, right? And so there's a couple of different shapes here with all different numbers of children that do it. And so they'll kind of be running around finding new friends, finding new people to do this with, and they're working together to make that shape happen. So that'll be a lot of fun. If there is a odd number and you need an extra person for that to make that work, then that's where your stuffed animal comes in. Is you can, if it's a picture of 3, but you only have a group of 2 left, then you can throw that stuffed animal at them and they can use that stuffed animal as the third person. Next, you have a memory verse activity, and what you're doing with this is you're actually teaching them the motions of the memory verse, kind of in sign language. And so what you're doing is you have all of these little pieces of paper that you can hold up and go in order with the memory verse, and just do this all together as you study the memory verse together. And that's it for this week, guys. Thank you guys so much for all that you guys do. We love you guys. See you in a bit.